Alright, we got one that allegedly froze up. We're going to take a look and see why it froze up. These units are not that old. They were mass installed here. It's an apartment complex. They installed, I don't know, 30 of these in one crack. Not my company. They got a grant and got them all installed. So let's take a look, see why it froze up. Filter's clean. I was taking these screws off to see if I could access this N style coil. See, it's shaped like an N. But these don't come off. The screws do, but you can't pull it off there. Stupid. So I'm gonna have to try to access it from here. Chances are we're gonna have to do a pull and clean on this, but see if I can get to it for now and clean it, because the top portion looks pretty clean. It's just that bottom portion has like a freaking coat on it. I'm gonna try to go in through here, see if I can get this door off. Holy crap. I can't believe that happened in just 2 years. That is nuts. And it's hard. That shit on there is hard as a rock. That is crazy. How does that happen in just 2 years' time? This thing must have been running with no filter. I'm going to put this stuff on it. Dissolve mini split evaporator coil and blower fan cleaner. Of course, it's designed for mini splits, but it works really good on built up dirt. So we're going to spray that on there. Then we'll brush it off, maybe hit it with the shop vac too, but we're probably gonna have to do a pull and clean on this. I just want to try to get it freed up so I can at least run it to make sure there's nothing else going on, because these units were not installed very well. They were, like I said, they did like 40 of these at one time, and they just slapped them in there. I mean, they didn't set them up properly. They didn't do trim charge on them. We worked on tons of these after these things have been installed, so just want to make sure there's no leaks or anything on them. So we'll clean it first the best we can, and then check it out. I got it cleaned the best I could without pulling it. I just turned it back on. Looks like this is our unit here. really cold. Got a little bit of oil going on here too. That definitely looks like oil. So we'll check that. Unless somebody's put their gauges on this recently. That's actually what it feels like. I bet you somebody put their gauges on this recently. The maintenance staff can do a little bit of HVAC work. So he might have threw a set of gauges on it or something. Alright, we'll get our shit hooked up to it, see what it's doing. Just hit her with the sniffer real quick, make sure nothing is leaking. Alright, we're still letting her stabilize a little bit, but that doesn't look horrible. And it doesn't look like it'll freeze up if it stays like that. So the half-ass cleaning I did on it should at least get it by until we can pull that coil out of there. Go upstairs and check some temperatures. Not much change out here. We got like an 18-degree split. I'm comfortable leaving this thing. I don't even know if the management company is even going to want me to come out here and pull and clean that. I'm going to give an option for it. Honestly, I doubt they're going to do it until it breaks again, because, you know, it's the equivalent to, you know, changing out an evaporator that's under warranty. Basically, we got all the labor, pulling a vacuum, you know, all kinds of stuff involved with that. Like I said, so I mean, I'm going to quote it just like I would be quoting like a evaporator coil change out that was under warranty, because that's basically what it is. Matter of fact, I might even check to see if I can get a new coil. That might even be easier. That thing is pretty gross. But I'm gonna let this one run a couple more minutes. Pressures look good. We'll give them an option on pull and clean on that coil and see what they say. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Probably the worst I've ever seen after just 2 years. And I found out from the maintenance guy, those units ran for a whole year without filters in them. I guess the installing contractor came in, like I said, total hacks, came in, put the units in, didn't install filters in them, and then let them run for a year. Now, I don't know who exactly is to blame here, whether it's the installing contractor. Of course, they should have at least let them know they didn't have filters in them, but the maintenance guy probably should have checked the units, the filters in the units, at least after 2 or 3 months to see if they were dirty. So, I don't know. But the units ran for a whole year with no filters. And then they've been running, I guess, for another year or so with the filters, but the damage was done at that point. So there's probably about 40 units out here that this is going to have to happen to this summer. So look forward to that. But what are you going to do? You know, more money for us keeps us busy. So, all right, I send them a quote on a pull and clean for that coil. We'll see what they say. All right, guys, I'm off to the next one. All right, next on the list today, we got a vacant apartment, but the maintenance claims the fan's not shutting off, which is weird. I think this unit's brand new. But is this one of the ones they just put in? We just put in a bunch of new ones out here. This might be one of the ones. Cool on. It's running right now. Just drop it down, see if anything shuts off. Oh, well, that's the wrong way. Still stuck in heating season. All right, well, the stat shut off. And the fan immediately slowed down. what happens. Alright, so between G and common, we have no 24 volts. That means there's a relay or something stuck inside here. Let's put this back on. Let's take this panel off. Alright, so let's take a look and see what we got here. These should be our 24 volt wires here. And then the ones in the back, yellow and black, should be our 240. Brown is our 24 volt common. This green is ground. So between brown and green, we shouldn't have anything. And then the white one would be for electric heat, to step the fan up during electric heat. So where do these wires come from? Green wire comes from a bundle behind here somewhere. So let's pull this wire and see if it'll stop. Alright, so it didn't stop when we pulled both of these actually. So let's just double check our schematic. Where the hell is that at? Oh, there we go, it did stop. Okay, it took a minute, but it did stop. So let's see which one of these we have voltage on. Never mind, check it out. Whoops, the heater pack's blown. And my fire damper just shut because of it. That noise, let me turn this off. That noise was my fire damper shutting. Well, I created myself a problem. So my heater pack was stuck on, and yep, my heater pack was stuck on, and which was causing my fan to stay on. I'm surprised they didn't notice that before. Okay. All right. Shit. We're gonna have to get in there and open that fire damper. Only problem is I don't know how to get up there, and I think we're gonna have to take this piece of ductwork off. I figured out why the heater was staying on all the time. You're not supposed to put your aux wire here. You're supposed to put it up here. I moved it up to where the aux should be. I don't know, for some reason, when these are set up in heat pump mode, it powers W here. No idea why, but it does. So that's what the problem was. It was keeping the electric heat on all the time. That's why the fan was running. And then the air conditioning, I guess, was running to compensate for the heat it was making. Let's put it back on. Make sure the electric heat isn't coming on anymore. And we gotta fix that fire damper. I think we should be good. Yeah, because it's not coming on now. Yeah, we're good, okay. I think we're gonna have to cut a hole in this ductwork right there. Right where that sticker is. Cut that right out. All right, you see there? That's my fire damper. And you see that right there? That's the fusible link for it. So when it gets to 165, 170, that fusible link melts and the fire damper slams shut. It actually happens a lot here from the fusible links just failing. But this one I actually dicked up myself, so from that heater pack staying on without the fan running. So that's my fault. but we're gonna get it fixed. I got somebody bringing me a new fusible link now. Here it is here. It's like solder that melts it. This one melts it. Looks like 165. Just like that. And then there's a hook on either side of the top and bottom of the fire damper, and this kind of just, the fire damper sits up against it. I'll show you once I get the new one put in. I pushed it open a little bit. That's one of the hooks right there. That's the same exact hook on the other side. And basically this fusible link just holds it open until there's a fire or it gets to 165 degrees and that little solder melts and the fire damper opens. Or I'm sorry, the fire damper shuts. All right, there we have it. Fusible link back installed. And we are going to put this piece of ductboard back on and we'll be good to go. All right, bam, hole patched. Running. Hasn't came fully on yet, but give it a minute, make sure it comes on, but I think we're good to go. All right, got that one replaced. Came out of my my button up because it was all full of ductboard dust and it was pretty itchy, so took that off. But I got one more in this same complex. Apparently it's low on refrigerant. The maintenance guy said the installing contractor back in 21 used the shark bite type refrigeration fittings, so those might be leaking, or it could be leaking somewhere else. So we're going to go over and take a look at that now. Look at them all. Got all the parents over here and all the babies over here. I'm not going to mess with them, I promise. This one over here is eyeballing me. They're just eating. Look at them all. All right, I've already been up there. I got a tenant helicoptering pretty bad, but just wanted to take a look here because I wasn't getting anything on my leak detector. And like I said, they use like those shark bite type fittings up near the air handler because there's a fire sprinkler right where those brazes are at. Let me put this to 410 before I forget. So that's why he used them, because apparently the contractor that did it set off a couple sprinklers at one point. So he used these shark bite type fittings, and I already hit him with the leak detector once and didn't really see anything yet. So I wanted to come out here to make sure I had pressure, and I do have pressure. So I'm gonna go back up there and see if I can leak test it a little better. I'll try to get you some shots of the fittings.
Pero si tú quieres, ve y compra, tráelo, para yo atenerlo. Para que no esté dando tiempo, así yo voy comiendo, yo tengo una tortilla también. ¿Tú tienes dinero ahí? Si tú quieres, sale la guagua para yo tirar todo.
All right, I've checked just about everything with the electronic leak detector, and surprisingly enough, those shark bite fittings up there are not leaking. I've tested them with the electronic and I've tested them with bubbles. I've checked everything out here too. Hopefully it's not in the wall, because then he's got a pretty big issue there. We're on a 3rd floor apartment here. We're starting to come back up now, but we're going to be pretty low. Let's get our probes hooked up so we can see what our superheat and subcooling is. Yeah. I'd say it's low. And it's about 4 o'clock and I'm not in the mood to do a full boat leak search right now. So I'm probably going to gas them up. We'll have to come back and do a more extensive leak search. I've already been looking for about 30 minutes now, haven't found anything. So gonna have to do a more extensive leak search on it. I'm just gonna gas them up for the night. All right, so we're pretty well stabilized right now. We got not even 1 degree of subcooling and 64 degrees of superheat. So we'll add a couple pounds, see how she does. Factory charge is 5.6 pounds. We'll call that just over 5.5. Plus, it's a 7/8 line set going up to the 3rd floor. I'd say it's probably got another pound or 2, pound and a half, 2 pounds of trim charge. So we'll start by adding 2 pounds and see where that gets us. Alright, that 2 pounds at least gave us slight subcooling and brought our suction line temperature down. Exactly 2 pounds. Go ahead and throw another pound in it. The data plate calls for 11 degrees of TXV subcooling. I don't know if we're going to make that, but we'll at least get a little better subcooling than 2. Alright, she took 5 pounds and she's starting to show improvement now. My subcooling is steadily going up. We're up to 6 degrees of subcooling now, 14 degrees of superheat. Suction line temperature is at 55 degrees. 121 suction, 265 head. So we're doing better now. I think we're pretty close here. Bubbles have been sitting on this for a while now. Trying to see if anything happened. Doesn't look like. Not bad. Basically a 20-degree split. Well, we are 20. Coil's a little dirty. It's not horrible, but it is dirty. I think we're pretty good on our charge. Call it a 20, call it a 20-degree split. It might end up hitting 21.